Hello, welcome to the Hortense podcast. I want to thank Jennifer for being a guest today in studio. How are you doing, Jennifer? I'm doing well, Hortense. Thank you very much, and it's very nice to be here today. It's just so nice to have you on because it was I stumbled upon finding you. You know how the algorithms are, and I am pivoting, as I told you. I've lost a lot of subscribers, a lot of followers from social media, as I am going through a metamorphosis, but I came across some of your older content that you have over on Rumble, and I love that you call it the tinfoil turban hat conspiracy theory stuff. This is stuff that I would not have ordinarily entertained just 2-3 years ago. Yeah, it's nice to meet people like you, Hortense, that are going through this. A lot of us are going through what you say metamorphosis and transformation, but it's nice to find the common ground so we can talk about these things now, especially when a lot of this stuff is labeled conspiracy theory. And now, as they say, you just give it some time and these conspiracy theories are just coming true. So yeah, I love that more of us are connecting. Like, OMG, I tried to watch those Grammys. Yes, unwatchable. I created a reel, and just having to get snippets of it was enough for me. I have been binge watching so much and learning about the people that I held in such high regard and even idolized, one being Beyonce. I was so blind, and I would have been one of those like people happily shelling out thousands of dollars to see her upcoming concert. Oh wow, speaking of concerts, the Super Bowl halftime show with Rihanna will be going on tonight, and I'm sure there will be surprises and some things that maybe push the envelope a little bit more. What are you thinking? I'm thinking probably more exposure. And I've heard some things about Rihanna in the past, and I've also heard that in order to get a cosmetic deal, like a big cosmetic deal, that it comes at a very, very high price. And I'm thinking for her to be the halftime performance of the Super Bowl, one of the biggest rituals, that definitely it will be dark in line with the Grammys, but I'm thinking there is going to be a lot of exposure. So we'll see. Yes, we'll see. Now, talk about seeing. I saw something in the New York Post today that really made me want to bring it up, knowing that you were going to be on. But it was something about Eminem, since we're talking about music artists. But Eminem had a body double, and apparently the body double was unalived recently. And I was just like, wow, don't a lot of so-called conspiracy theory people talk about things like that, like body doubles and clones and things like that? I used to mock that stuff. I did happen to see that too. Wow. Yeah, that was odd, along with so many headlines. I like to peruse the New York Post and just see what the headlines are, and I came across that one. So, yeah, I mean, people talk about that stuff, and I know recently with Joe Biden's State of the Union, there are a lot of like pictures floating around where people are looking at what looks and appears to be really bad fitting of mask, and skin masks and different disguises. So I haven't had time to look into it fully to see some of these recent things, but it is interesting. I even came across a really bizarre headline. Did you see the one? It talked about John F. Kennedy Jr. being kicked out of a store because he offended someone in the trans community. And I thought, wow, that's really odd to hold a grudge against somebody for that long. And I was like, what a bizarre headline. What do you think? I noticed that one too. Really bizarre. I agree. Especially since the guy isn't even alive anymore. Wow. Yeah, wow. Well, Jennifer, this has been so awesome. Thank you for coming on the Hortense podcast. I would love for you to come back and maybe we could do a post, halftime of the Super Bowl if anything pops off. And otherwise, I would just love to, debrief with you about some of the things that I'm learning and having to unlearn. But it's nice to have a new circle of people that I could, just run some things by as I am coming into this information. So I just want to thank you so much. You're welcome, Hortense. It's been so nice to connect with you and also to know that we're now going to see more connections like this, more dialogue across the fence. And we're not going to let these algorithms, as they like to call them, keep us apart. So yes, let's definitely do this again. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Hortense podcast. And the following is information on where you can find Jennifer on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon.